Welcome back. This is Resinbitz, and today we're going to be gluing some wefts. I have Ben here with me, and we're going to be working on his wig. I'm just getting him ready. There. The jacket is less to save him from all the cut pieces of alpaca that I'm going to be accumulating, and it's more to save you guys from seeing him without some arms. My friend made Ben this flower crown for his MSD version, but his SD head's pretty small as well, so he kind of fits it. I thought it'd be kind of cute for him to wear, since we're only going to be working on the back for today. So there we go, all turned around. A little scary, but hopefully we can get a couple layers done today. So I'm going to show you the tools that I'll be using. This is just a water bottle, and then I use this glue for gluing on the wefts. Then I have a toothbrush for brushing, scissors, an X-Acto knife for cutting the weft shorter, and a flea comb if I need it. Not for fleas though. It helps get rid of some of the fuzziness that can happen with the wefts. Okay, so let me bring up a piece. So this is one of my wefts. I try to get it really thin. You can see my hand through it. I'm gonna see if this is long enough for here. So what I always do is this piece, I'm gonna cut a little bit shorter than the one that's there currently. So this, I have to make sure it's a little bit longer to begin with, so I have enough space to cut it. That looks pretty good. So what I do is I trim this glue area. You can see the glue kind of looks different on either side. One side's a little bit shinier. This is the side that was touching the original plastic. And so I just cut it. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so this piece, it's currently uneven right now, but we're gonna fix that once we have it glued onto his head. Whoop. Inside. I'm actually wrapping the wefts around the sides. It's kind of unnecessary, but I want to see if there's a slight difference in the quality of the edge here. So for me to do that, I take this weft and I take some of this glue and I just add the glue directly onto the weft. It doesn't matter which side of the weft that you choose to put the glue on, but I tend to do the more shiny side. This glue is like incredibly tacky, so it's not runny at all, and it's really easy to add the glue slowly. I like to make sure there's a lot on the ends. Okay, and now it's time to add it. And then I'm just pushing down. I am going to brush away this excess though. get it as flat as I can so that it doesn't clump up. And then I just rub it away. So you can see there's not a big height difference between my wefts. You honestly don't have to put them this close. Wigs are very forgiving, and I can show that in a different video showing my more sparse wigs. Just I personally want to make them as less gappy as I can going forward. That's the only trade-off really, is that there's less chance with the wefts this close, there's less chance you'll flip up and see any gaps. But honestly, for some wigs, it really doesn't matter. I like doing it this way, also because it's just less mess to clean up after, and there's less glue wasted. Like, I would put it in a plastic container of some kind or a paper bowl, and I would just keep using that over and over again until the glue accumulated, and then I would throw it away. But I ended up using way too much glue at one time, or wasting it at least at one time and not using it all up. You can see the inside there, slightly overlapped. So you can see the length of the new weft here, and then underneath, if I lift up this, you can see that these are shorter. So this is going to be a little bit shorter than the one underneath it. And that helps with, if you're doing layers this close, you want every next layer to be a little bit shorter and it helps prevent the bulk coming out. So I put it back on Ben's head, and now I'm just waiting for it to dry a little. The next step is going to be cutting this weft. One thing I like about this glue is that it doesn't take long for, once you add a weft, it doesn't take long for it to dry, and you have the ability to start cutting it, which for me is great because I always glue one layer, then I cut, and then I glue another layer, then I cut. So I really need a glue that's not only decently tough, but dries quickly. Okay, so now I'm going to be using my X-Acto knife to start cutting. I usually lift up the weft and see where the length is for underneath. Yeah. Okay. And then I start. So when I cut, I do this kind of motion, and I start very high, and then I end up staying here the longest until until a piece breaks off. I like starting high to shave off some of the very top layers of the weft, make those nice and short, and then having the bottom layers be the actual length. That way when the next layer goes on, it's not as bulky. So I start tall and then I go down. So that's the first cut. This side of the blade that I'm using is a little bit dull, so I'm going to switch hands. There we go. So you can see, because I'm right-handed, I use the other side of the blade a lot more. can see it kind of, the top layer now doesn't feel longer than the layer underneath it. I might just keep shaving it a little bit just to get that tapered. And this thickness right here is about how thick it's going to stay going forward, usually. Okay, so now I'm just going to wet it and see how it looks a little styled. This way you can also see the layers that are happening. So that is one layer. So that is one layer done on my wig. I would say this is a little bit slower. I'm definitely doing this a lot slower than usual, just so I make sure I get it on camera. But yeah, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing how I attach wefts. Like and subscribe if you wish. You can also follow me on Instagram at Resinbitz. Link in the description, and have a good day. Bye.